Hi guys, happy Wednesday. Today we are not going on Desmos, we're just going classic notes, which means unfortunately I'll have to get your homework through picture again like before, but that won't be common. So we're going to take a break from Desmos and looking at our calendar, we're talking about standard and vertex form today. So standard and vertex form, we've mentioned both of these before. What do they look like? They look like these. Standard form is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And vertex form is y equals a times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. One thing I would like to draw your attention to is that they've both got the same a there. They've both got an a. Now, something kooky going on with these um, is that there's actually not a difference between them. They look different, um, but they are different ways to say the same thing. I'm not going to make you graph it, but if I gave you an equation in standard form and an equation in vertex form, they might look completely different, but they could give you the exact same graph. It's just a different way of showing it. So we have two forms. They are different ways of saying the same thing. And standard form is nice enough to give us the y-intercept by the letter C. And vertex form gives us the vertex with our h and k. We hammered that home a lot. Um, Standard form gives us the y-intercept, vertex form gives us our vertex. So let's talk about if I gave you one, how you would find the other. So if I gave you a standard form equation, right? If I gave you one of these, and I told you, hey, I need the vertex form. I need to know what the vertex is. There's no h and k here. So how would you turn that into this? That's what I'm showing you today. So, get my cover sheet. So first things first, on converting from standard to vertex form, I gotta hide my notes from you. Peek. So first I'm going to have this little legend up here. I'm gonna box it off, just so I can see what I'm working with. You're probably better with space than me, so all this stuff's probably on the same page anyway, but I would like to see my equations. So we have an A already. What we need is an H and a K. So let's figure out how to find it. Step one, to find h, you use this magical little equation, okay? Opposite of b over 2 times a. And I'm going to write a times just to clarify that. Opposite of b over 2 times a. All right? If you take opposite of b over 2 times a, your b and your a from your standard equation, and you get that value, it's going to give you your h value from vertex form. Let me show you what I mean. If I had an example problem of y equals x squared minus 4x plus 4, if I take the opposite of b, so b is my second value, right? The one that's paired with the linear x. So that would be negative 4. So if I took the opposite of b, so the opposite of negative 4, and I put that over 2 times a, which is the first number, the one paired with the quadratic term, I don't have one, so that's a 1. So over 2 times 1, this should give me h. So what's the opposite of negative 4? Positive 4. What's 2 times 1? 2. What's 4 divided by 2? 2. So my h is 2. I need to find my k now. So how do we get k? Step 2. To get k, we plug h back into the equation as our x value to get our k. Because hk is a point on this graph. So if I plug in the x value, the h, then I get the y value, the k. So if I take my 2 and I plug it into this equation as my x, so 1 times, instead of x squared, it's 2 squared, minus 4x, so minus 4 times 2, plus 4. So I just rewrote the same equation, but I replaced my x's with 2's. Then this should give me k. So 2 squared is 4, so that's 1 times 4, minus, what's 4 times 2? 8 plus 4. All right, what's 1 times 4? 4 minus 8 plus 4. 4 minus 8 is negative 4, plus positive 4 is 0. So my k is 0. So I have a k, and I have an h. So what do I do with those? Last step, I plug my a, my h, and my k into the original equation, or to the vertex form, to get vertex form. So vertex form is y equals a times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. I'm going to plug in my new numbers to get vertex form. So what was our a value from the original problem? 1. It stays the same. So y equals 1 times x minus h. What's my h value? 2. So x minus 2 squared plus k. What's k? 0 plus 0. And I have turned my standard form equation into a vertex form equation. Let me do one more example for you, and then I'm going to give you guys 2 examples to do for homework, and that's all we're talking about today. All right, so say I had this standard form equation, y equals ax squared plus bx minus 3. And I said, give me vertex form. What you would do is, step 1, I need to find h. And h equals opposite of b over 2a. So what's the opposite of my b value? Well, if this is a, this is b, and this is c, 16, so the opposite of 16 is negative 16, over 2 times a. What's my a value? 4. 2 times 4. Okay, what's 2 times 4? 8. What's negative 16 divided by positive 8? That would give me negative 2. So my h is negative 2. Step 2 is to plug in h for k. So if I take my original equation, 4x squared plus 16x minus 3, and I replace the x's with my negative 2, then I get 4 times negative 2 squared plus 16 times negative 2 minus 3. What's negative 2 squared? Positive 4, so that's 4 times 4, plus what's 16 times negative 2? Well, 16 times positive 2 is 32, so it's negative 32 minus 3. All right, what's 4 times 4? So it's 16 plus negative 32 minus 3. So I know 32 minus 16 is 16, so negative 32 combined with a positive 16 would give me negative 16 minus 3. And I'm doing this all worked out. You can use the calculator. I don't care. So a negative 16 minus a 3 gives you a negative 19. I'm old school. I like writing it out. You can use the calculator. So negative 19 is my k. So I have my h and my k. Last step, plug in my a, my h, and my k. So vertex form is y equals a times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k. What's my a value? 4 times the quantity of x. What's my h value? Negative 2. So x minus negative 2 would be x plus 2 squared plus k. What's my k? Negative 19. So minus 19. If this plus is throwing you off, x minus h, h was negative 2, so this would be x minus negative 2, and a minus negative 2 is just a plus 2. If it's going to help you to write minus negative 2, you can. Just know that in a college course, they'd probably not count that. So, pause the video if you need to copy. Here are your 2 homework problems. So do the exact same thing I did. Um, find your H, find your K, plug it in to get Vertex form. For both of these problems, I didn't make them too hard. So if you have any questions, just get up with me. Tomorrow, we are doing review on everything we've covered this week, which, looking at my calendar, is desmods.com, some quadratic regression, finding the vertex and zeros on a graph, and lastly, we'll review this one more time. And then on Friday, you'll have a quizzy quiz on Google Classroom, where you guys can show your skills. My plan is moving forward for the last weeks, instead of letting concepts build up, build up, build up, I want to teach you something and then quiz you at the end of the week. Teach you something, quiz you at the end of the week. So we don't have these weird long stretches of forgetting things. Should be good. But anyway, best of luck to you. God bless you. And please let me know if you need any help. Bye.